Hello, this is Stephen Fishburne, the Medical Director of Barnes Care. This small presentation is meant for employees, supervisors, management, and any individual who interfaces with the Barnes Care staff. We will review the Metro Authorization form and how to properly fill it out. Here is the Metro Authorization form that should be used. This form is labeled Form 0879 and was updated in July of 2025. Please make sure you are using the correct form with the correct updated date, which can be found at the bottom left of the form. Now we will go section by section to explain more detail. The demographic portion includes the applicant or employee name, the badge number if applicable, the supervisor with the supervisor's phone number, and the department and location of the supervisor, and the date it was filled out. We require this information so we know who to refer the individual back to for further assistance. Please make sure this is updated when given out. Below that is the individual authorizing the visit. We require the phone number and title of this individual. This is the individual who takes financial responsibility for the visit. Please note the expiration date in this section. If an individual comes in after the date listed in this section, they will be required to obtain a new updated authorization. Below this is the drug and alcohol screen section. It has 4 steps. Remember, if an individual presents for drug and alcohol testing, at least one box in each section of the form is checked or the form is likely done incorrectly. We will review this section step by step. Step 1. Is the drug and alcohol testing being done as a DOT or a non-DOT? This information should be known by the individual filling out the form and usually depends on the job duties of the employee or future employee. This box has implications further down the steps, so if you do not know which test is being needed, find this information out before completing the form. Step 2. This next section is to determine if drugs, alcohol in the form of a breath alcohol test, or both testing is being authorized. This section almost always has both boxes checked. Step 3. Step 3 specifies which drug test will be performed. There are 3 available tests: urine lab, oral lab, and rapid testing. Typically, depending on step 1 of the drug screen, DOT or non-DOT will help determine which box needs to be checked here. For DOT drug screens, the urine lab needs to be checked. Occasionally, the rapid test will also be ordered for DOT drug testing. This is typical after post-accidents. Here you can see both boxes are checked. For non-DOT drug tests, the oral lab and rapid test boxes are checked. These boxes are typically checked together. If DOT is checked and the oral lab is marked, this is an error and will need to be corrected. Step 4 has 3 possible options. 1. Pre-employment or return to works greater than 90 days. 2. Post-accident or injury. Or 3. Reasonable suspicion or probable cause. For this section, only one box is likely to be checked. Here is an example of a DOT pre-employment drug screen or someone who is returning after greater than 90 days. Here is a DOT new injury or post-accident example. The most common reason for a non-DOT, although not exclusively, is post-accident, requiring a non-DOT drug screen. Here is an example of the correct form for this situation. Here is an example of post-accident DOT drug testing. You can see the urine lab and the rapid lab boxes are checked. And finally, here is an example of a reasonable suspicion DOT test. Below that is the medical evaluation and other services section. The physical examination boxes are options for individuals who need physical exams. The first box, disability exams, are checked when an individual is applying for short or long-term disability. If DOT medical certification is required, the second box should be checked. This box is sometimes marked with return to work evaluations where the individual has been absent for greater than 90 days. Here is an example when both boxes are checked. Return to work evaluations are usually performed when an individual is returning from a or hospitalization. Sometimes further information will be written in the Other Information section, although this is not required. Fit for duty evaluations are performed by myself. These are done when the individual exhibits signs or symptoms that can make the supervisor or someone at work question if they can perform the essential functions of the job. In the information section, the supervisor should write additional details about what they are observing. These exams are scheduled, and the individual will likely be seen on a follow-up basis. The final section is work comp screening, and this is done for new injuries where the individual is injured while working. This section also requires additional details of the occurrence in the Other Information section. On the right of this section is additional testing. If an essential function test is needed, the box here is checked. If the individual requires hepatitis A vaccination or hemoglobin A1C tests, these boxes should be checked. Hepatitis A vaccination is usually performed for boat river operators. If you have further questions about this form, please contact your direct manager or supervisor. Individuals are given one opportunity for redoing and for fixing this form. However, after this opportunity, the employee or applicant is returned to their supervisor. That means they physically have to leave the premises and have to come back to the clinic. Thanks so much for listening.